So today we are going to do something very different and something that I didn't think I was actually going to do, but after several people had said that their bread recipes did not work even with our bread method, although they said that they got closer than ever before to an actual loaf of bread, after much consideration we decided that we will give you our recipe for bread. We start by proofing our yeast. Now, if you prefer to put your yeast into your dry mix, you will omit this step. However, you will need the 1.5 cups of water. So, for us, to this 1.5 cups of warm water, I am going to add 1 tablespoon. This is active dry yeast, but this is actually instant dry yeast. We used to use a mixture of instant and active, but we stopped and just went over to the instant yeast. So, best way to proof yeast, make sure that the yeast gets wet. It's very, very important. Now, as the yeast rises, you're going to measure 1 tablespoon, carefully, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice and 2 tablespoons, pardon me, of canola oil. Now you could use canola oil, corn oil, olive oil, it doesn't matter. Just as long as you have you could use coconut oil, as long as you have 2 tablespoons of some fat. Our recipe calls for 3 cups of liquid. So we use 1.5 cups of warm water, 1 cup of eggs. Now we measure our eggs. We've showed you that segment already. Not all eggs actually are 1/4 cup. They should be. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. So although this is 4 eggs, it could be 5, it could be 3, depending on the size of the eggs, but measure it. So you have 1 cup of egg, and then we use 1/2 cup of egg white. At this stage, which of course is very noisy, so I'm just going to turn the mixer off. For your purposes, don't turn the mixer off. But when your egg mixture gets fluffy like this, you're going to add roughly 2 tablespoons of honey into your mixture. Usually I let the mixer mix because then it's not a lump in the bottom of your bowl, but for this purpose I figured I'd let you see it quietly. After your honey is mixed in, you're going to add your proofed yeast and water to your bowl. And then you're going to add your dry ingredients. This is your bowl of dry ingredients. This bowl has 4.5 cups, pardon me, 4.5 cups of baking mix. To this, I am going to add, although there is already xanthan gum and gelatin, which is our secret ingredient, in the bread mix already, we are going to add in 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 1 teaspoon of our Bob's Red Mill double action baking powder, no aluminum. Now, that is your basic dry ingredient mix. To this, you could add anything that you want to make bread out of. So if you want a flavored bread, we make our harvest with pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, whole millet, and whole flax seeds. At this point, that would go in there. You could put raisins, cinnamon, and sugar. Suddenly you have raisin bread. You could put craisins. You could put craisins and pumpkin seeds makes an incredible holiday bread. You could even put holiday fruit in this, and suddenly with a bit of sugar, and you suddenly have holiday fruit bread. You could put cheese in here at this point. Our cheese bread has Parmesan, Monterey Jack, and cheddar. The proportions are up to you. That's the key to this. If you like lots of things in your bread, put lots of things in your bread. If you don't want lots of things in your bread, stop at this point and it goes into the bowl ready with the dough hook to make bread. After this, you can switch over after watching this to our bread method video, also on our YouTube channel, and then follow the method. That has everything you need for what the bread's supposed to look like by the end of it. Using nothing but the first bowl that I showed you, you will get a loaf of plain bread. Looks like that. This is hot. It's just come out of the oven. So that's that. Here's one of our harvests. As you can see the millet, you can see the flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, they're all there. But this is the size of loaf you're going to get. The recipe that we've given you makes 2 loaves of bread. Let it cool completely before slicing or it will just tear, unless that's what you're after. So I hope this helps. Happy baking. Feel free to give us comments below if you have any questions. If you need a hand with anything, if you need some help, feel free to email us, or we are one of those rare people, you could always call us. The phone number is right on our website. We don't have a problem. Just make sure that if you're in a different time zone that you do not phone me in my time zone at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not very fond of that. But happy baking.